Amen. We thank God today for what we see. All my eyes do enjoy what I see. Most of all, we thank God for what we hear. Because truly seeing and hearing makes all the difference. If you're able to see, the Bible says you can bear witness. If you're able to hear, you can bear witness. And we thank our Heavenly God for us being able to hear, and most of all, hear with understanding. We know that out of all we do, we must understand. Because it is the principal thing. It is that we understand, then that is what we do. I often tell people you cannot do, or it could be difficult, and it is much difficult to do what you don't understand. But if you understand why you do what you do, when you're doing what you do, you'll get a blessing. Life will be a lot easier. The struggles won't be so hard when God give you understanding. We give honor to I am that I am God, to his son, the Christ, like Jesus, and the gift and the power of the Holy Spirit. To our foundation for which we stand under the King Melchizedek, priest of the Most High God. Give honor to our universal King, blessed be his name, Northern King Peter. Give honor to his wife, the Kinsey Queen Capanon, and Pure Queen Priscilla, Pure Queen Sheelamite, to my teacher, the mother, Imperial Queen Rebecca, to my wife, the Kinsey Rachel, and to you, God's chosen and anointed people. We honor you this morning. Today, we kind of had to alter the time, but I'm not going to hold you long on today. But I want to talk brief with you about something that has been on my mind. And as I constantly ask God to, show me that I may understand. Teach me that I may do. Because whatever I understand, I want to do what I understand. I just don't want to be a hearer of it, but I want to be a doer of it. Because that we do should make us wiser and better. We should become proficient in that we do. And so today I oftentimes listen and watch and observe and through social media, through the internet, through YouTube, through Facebook, through all sorts of mediums. People have formed some form of conversation or topic. As I was listening on Friday with the Kenneth Queen Rachel and Queen Magdalene, it seemed like this topic is constantly reoccurring, and people are trying to define the meaning and what is right, what is considered incorrect, or how to go about it, or how to understand it. What phase are you in it of your life? How do you understand it? How do you demonstrate it? What does it mean? And so, if you ask everyone this question, you would probably get so many different answers off of one question. And if you can get so many different answers off of one question, then that lets me know we may not have the answer. We have variations of what we say is the answer. But we're going to try to see if there is a universal answer that cannot be denied by you nor me, but it stands independent of itself. And today I will talk about this subject, and that is the word that oftentimes is used in every scenario, and that is the word love. It's used to express many things. We say, I love my car, I love my job, I love the money I make, I love my profession, I love my ministry, I love this, I love my children, I love my husband, I love my wife. I mean, we use it in every aspect, not thinking it's the word being properly used, because it all based on us and how we feel about it. Well, so it's just like you say, you love your job. I may look at your job and say, I couldn't do your job. So you loving something that gives something to you in how you see an expression what you call love. But another person can be on the same job and say, I can't wait till I get off this job because I can't stand this job. And so then that means it's, as my mother used to say, it is your perception. Your perception. So I want to try to understand, because even I may need correction. And even I may need a better understanding, because as I say a lot of terms and I say a lot of things that describe this. And sometimes people want to know, priest, well, what do you mean by that? And how do you describe that? And so I want to use for a subject is, the Bible say, God love has condition, and the condition is unconditional. I'm going to say that again. God's love has conditions, and the condition is unconditional. And so many times I often look at you and our love have conditions. And we often are told, I love you based upon this. I love you because you do that. But I was talking with Queen Bethel the other day, and I said, you know, it's amazing that all love that we describe is based upon what someone else do or don't do. So people say, so love then now, as we understand, has conditions. I love you, if it's in a relationship, it's based upon what one do for one another. But I wonder, we're going to look at the scriptures to pull the text. Go to the book of 1 John, the 4th chapter, and the 16th verse. And I want to challenge all of us, myself, you, and everybody, to see this in a different perspective. Because if we really understood this, I think we will all be better. Now, don't get me wrong. I enjoyed the broadcast. It was a powerful broadcast. And I heard the term, the expression. You know, we may like expressions. You know, people do things for you. As I heard someone say, I like the expression of you bringing me flowers. I like the expression of you bringing me candy. So that means that the love is being inspired, or the love is being reflective of what the person do. But if the love by God is unconditional, then my question to you and I, what are we doing to an unconditional God who said he has no conditions, but to be unconditional? Because think about it. If our love, or we say God love was based upon how we put love towards a brother or a sister, then could we say we really understand love? Because God doesn't use our standards of love. I'm going to show you in a minute. This is very brief. In the 4th chapter, 16th verse, this is what it says. And we have known and believed the love that God have to us. The love that God have to us. So then that lets us know that there is something from the Creator that is being given and expressed to us. It's not based on us. It's based on the I am loving us. Loving us. Meaning no matter who we are in this room, we all understand and accept that God loves us, as we say, in spite of who we are, right? In spite of our not always, as we say, we hear it in our testimony. I may not have been so obedient to God, but I know God loved me. I know God overlooks my fault and go what? To my needs. I know God forgives me of my transgressions and give me his mercy and tender heart. And we use all these terms and we say this loving God continues to love us in spite of what we do. But then when it comes to you and I, our conditions are different. We say, well, I love you because you do this. I love you because you make me feel this way, or you don't make me feel this way, and this and that. And then we are now using expressions to define what love is. But let me show you what the scripture tells us. And then it says, God is love. Let's simply say, God. God. Oh, that ain't everybody. Let's simply say, God. God is love. Love. See, if God is love, how many of us have really expressed love? Now we can philosophize, debate this term all day, but the scriptures say we are not necessarily love, though God is in us. The Bible says that I am is love. And he that dwell in love dwell in God, and God in them. It says him, but I'm using them. Now listen, and this is the last verse. Here is in our love made perfect, that we may have boldness in the day of judgment, because as he is, so are we in, this is the good part. I could have brought this as a message, in this world. That's it. Now let's look at this. Let's look at this like scientists. Let's dissect this. Now, our love that is in us, that is of God, is supposed to be demonstrated in what? In this world. So now, in this world, what is love based upon? What is love based upon? You may have a favorite movie that you say that's what I think love should be. You may have somebody wrote a book that you like and say, oh, that's what love is. You know, there are songs of many artists have written. One song says, I want to know what love is. Some people write poetry that is beautiful in its words. But at the end, what is it? And if God is love, and God is the source of all that exists, and all that's been manifested, and we say we serve this love. We say this love woke me up this morning. This love carried me on my way. This love opened up doors that were closed in my face. This love healed my family. This love has blessed me. This love keeps me in my right mind. I wish I was talking to somebody. This love is the thing that sustains my very existence. But then if God used love the way we use it towards one another, when he said, the love I have is the same love you should have for one another. So it can't be predicated totally on what somebody do, but can you love them unconditionally? Unconditional love. Now, I'm going to help you understand what it is, because since somebody don't know what it is, I gave Bethel this example. I said, I'm going to tell you what unconditional love is. And most men may not understand it because we have to learn it, but y'all been blessed to experience it without even really knowing you going through it. That's when, not all mothers, because some mothers in their state of mind or their circumstances may prevent this from happening. But a mother of sound mind and sound spirit, when she have a child, birth that child through that womb, that baby is put into her arms. There's a natural anesthesia come over her.
Yeah.
And the love she has for this child has did nothing but come through her womb.
Yeah.
The child has not said, I love you back. The child has not given her a gift. The child has not said not a word but goo goo or cry. And you look at that child and say, oh, I love that, whatever that is.
Yeah.
That's an unconditional love. Mm-hmm. And we've seen mothers through the years care for children that came out disformed and looked at that child and saw something in that child.
Yeah.
You see mothers come and bear children and they would die for their child. It's just something in them that makes them love that child, and that child cannot give nowhere near back to them what she gave them, which is life. So you've been blessed to know unconditional love.
Amen.
But somewhere along life, we've been told a format. We've been given a script that don't fit God's script. Because if God said my love is unconditional, so I'm asking everyone, what conditions are you putting on God's love?
Mm-hmm. Y'all right now.
Because if you put a condition on it, then guess what? You may not be in it. Because if it's based upon, just think about it. Can you just love something just because you love it?
Yeah, yeah.
Why you love it? I just love it. Just it. I just love it. Well, what does it do? I just love it. But why? I just love it. But then if you ask somebody why you love it, I love it because. And when you say that because, then you put a condition on God who, if God said he loved us, what did the Old Testament say all the time? God loved us first. God said he called of his own. The message I brought to you years ago, God said that ye are holy before you even knew what holy was. God said, I'm going to make you my people because he just loved it. It was never based on what we were doing. It was all solely based upon God loving us.
Thank you.
Y'all missing me?
Go ahead now.
And so maybe we would never understand this. Maybe I would never truly understand it. But the reality is, I want you to pray on when they say God is love.
Yeah.
And God said he bestowed this kind of love on us. That we may know this love. Because it has to be, you know why it has to be unconditional? You know why love has to be, the conditions of love has to be unconditional? Because we as humans can find every reason not to. I can find a reason to not like a person easily. And you can too. People you meet for the first time, oh, I just don't like them. I don't like that. I don't like how they came in the room. I don't blah, 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 blah. And you forming this whole thing about a person you don't even know. But we have the nature to not like a person. You have the nature to hold grudges against family members for years. I done seen family members fall out 15 Christmas ago, and they ain't talking to this day. We have that ability to dislike family members for years, and then time done passed, and you done forgot what the argument was all about. But you hold on to that pain. So in this world, we've seen nations go against nations because a war happened many thousand years ago. People don't even know why they even warring today. They just know that my ancestors didn't like your ancestors, and when I see you, it's going to be a conflict when we meet. And so God said he so loved the world that he gave. You follow me this morning? God said, I so love that I gave. And so we all must ask ourselves. We all must meditate. And I don't know as time, and I said earlier, as I was listening to the Queen, as time comes, see, what that we cannot do, and we need to ask God for, is as we are growing, not only in age, see, forget just age. What about wisdom? Wisdom is a very powerful tool. And it's an interesting tool because the more we say, God, give me wisdom. We always say, be mindful of what we ask for. Be mindful for what we pray for. And it doesn't mean that God going to put something on you so negative. that you prayed for, then this. No, what it means is that if you say, God, show me wisdom.
Right there, yeah, Lord.
Show me the key to life. And then God show it to you. You may be somewhere by yourself with the understanding that God has given you that don't nobody else ever see. And then, but if it's true now, follow me. In time, maybe you got it this year. 10 years from now, somebody be in somewhere having an epiphany and say, oh my God, I finally got what the heck that was all about. Because God has given us all the measure of faith, right? And God gives it to us according to our level of what? Understanding. So if you the more you get in God, the more you elevate, you're going to find there's different levels of understanding. I cannot say I'm elevated and have the same understanding I had when I was 15. Y'all missing me. I can't say I had the same understanding if I was at 22. So if God is evolving us, and everybody in this room is saying we're growing with what? Wisdom, knowledge, and a better what? And a better what? And a better what? Understanding. And if we get a better understanding in every area of our life, there are going to be some things that you're going to see on a different plane of conscience. They may not be at the conscience when you was at this level. So you're going to see things different. And that's everybody. But what we got to try to do, if we can't see how someone else is being elevated, it may not be they decelerate, it could be elevated. Because as we thought one thing was important today, tomorrow it may not be that important. Today you may think this is the most important thing, tomorrow, or you may not think this is the most important, tomorrow you see, oh, that was important. So love is God. And I know when we walk across this threshold, one of the messages we've been trying to convey is the love of God. And I think the more I understand it, the more I realize, and I'm saying this for us, me, and everybody in here, I'm not exempt from this statement. The more the more God revealed to it, we don't know it. Yeah, I'm saying we don't know it. But if you just meditated on a minute and ask the question, listen, you just missed it right here. You really, it seems so simplistic. It says God is love. Now, we can say the writer got it wrong. We challenge the scriptures. But if God is love, then you need to see how God expresses love. If God is the originator of love, first of all, God created the motion anyway. Y'all miss me? If God created it and know what it's supposed to be, why don't we ask the creator what it is?
Yes, that's it. Amen.
We can't ask Steve Harvey what the hell love is. We can't ask the new romance book that just came out what love is. That's their expression. As the Queens will say, that's just their expression. Somebody else's expression may be different. Somebody else may say, dig a ditch for me. If you dig a ditch for me and put a planted tree in the backyard, that's love because I'm a gardener. That's love to me. I know, for example, Elder Thomas, his wife, they stay across the street from us. And they've been married for years. This woman loves gardening. She loves gardening so much she got a what they call a greenhouse, green room, or whatever they call it, in her attic. She loves to be in the dirt. Any summer, you can come by my house any time of the summer and go in the backyard. She down on the ground, hand, not manicure nails, not press-ons, not nothing, hand in the dirt. No gloves, toiling the soil. Because I always call her backyard like a miniature garden of Eden. Something that you didn't think would grow in Chicago, she grows it. And that is what she loved to do. Now her husband, Thomas or Tony, ain't never ever seen him in that backyard digging that ditch with her. But she goes to a place in her mind that I talked to her. I went over there and talked to her. She's in a place in her mind when she in that grass. So that's, to her, would probably take her to this. Maybe if he got down in that ground and started digging with her, she may feel he's expressing something in her called love. But her love for gardening still has nothing to do with the love of God. Y'all missing it. Because see, what she may do for a plant and how she may nurture a plant, she may not do for you. Y'all missed that. Yeah, she may get on the dirt back there and do all that, but she may not give you a piece of bread to eat. I'm not saying she won or not. But I'm going to show you how you could be in what you call love is something and still miss what God is saying love is.
All right.
And that's why the scriptures put this greatest challenge on us. And you hear me say it, I'm about to close. It says it often. It said, love ye one another.
My God.
That's the clause. So even if you now say you love Coptic Nation Temple, it's a beautiful thing. I would say, oh, we doing right over here. But if you say you love Coptic Nation Temple, but you can't stand nobody else you meet outside of Coptic Nation Temple, you don't love Coptic Nation Temple. You're a lie and ain't no truth in it.
My God.
Because, as I said earlier, once you fall in God, as I would say, or fall in love, that's all it is.
All right.
We have defined it. And that's why today the answer is it's so difficult to define it now. Because if the creator is the one who originated it, then we need to ask the question, what is it? And you say, Meshach, you can love people unconditionally? Well, let's look at it like this. I'm going to show you a key and I'm done. How come you can't love a person unconditionally? How can I love people? It's too many messed up people in the world for me to try to love somebody unconditionally. I got a list of people. If I had my way, just say it, Prince, if you had your way, they wouldn't be around. So, and don't tell me, priest, this stuff don't even sound, I know it sounds unrealistic. That's the point I'm trying to tell you. We don't know what the love of God is. Because it sounds unrealistic. It doesn't sound feasible. It doesn't sound obtainable. That's why I said the perfect love. Why did they describe it as the perfect love? First of all, when you look at a person, and it's interesting, sometimes that's why I say wisdom has to bend you. It has to shape you. It has to redefine you and readjust you, because just when you think you got something one way, here come wisdom say, you ain't got it yet. So now, when you meet people, first of all, you have to understand everybody that's on the planet being created by your Father.
My God.
Everybody.
Everybody. My God. Yes.
Your God that you say you love, adorn, and worship, and give all this homage to, and him,
Watch it.
He created everything and everybody.
My God.
So, first of all, when you meet a person, you have to accept that you're looking at one of God's creations. Nothing less than and nothing more. And the Bible said, do unto others. Jesus gave us a little insight. He said, do to them what you want done to yourself. So if I know me, as I got my mental together, and I'm on right thinking, I don't want to hurt nobody. So I don't want nobody to hurt me, I should say. So guess what? I'm not going to try to hurt you. I don't want nobody to lie on me. So guess what? I'm not going to lie on you. I don't want nobody to steal from me. So I'm not going to steal for you. I don't want nobody to look at me and don't want my very existence to be manifested, and they want to see me liberated, destroyed. I don't want that for me. I don't want that for you. So the key is to internalize it, reverse it. First, see what you're about to do. As Queen Rachel said, if you do this, will God be pleased with it? Most of all, see how it makes you feel first. And then don't do it to another person. But you know why people can do it? So you say, well, priest, why everybody do what they do? Because first of all, they don't love themselves. And they don't like themselves. So how they going to love you when I don't like myself? That's why we say, love thyself. Because if you don't love yourself, you cannot love me because you're putting me higher than yourself. And if God is in you and you and God and you are one, how can you not see the one in me and I can't see the one in you? Oh, this thing is deep.
Yes, it is.
So, at the end of the day, let me give you this disclaimer. You don't have to change nothing that you think about love. You can say, preach, you got it wrong this trip. I accept that. But I guarantee you, when I know I get revelation knowledge, you may not come around the mulberry bush right now, but that's why I'm recording it. Down the road, it may not be the priest that said, maybe a psychologist will come out and say, maybe Joel Osteen will say it, maybe T.D. Jakes will say it. I don't know who's going to have to say it for it to click, but I'm telling you now, what the world is suffering from is a lack of love. What the world is suffering from, we don't know what it is. We only know is how something makes us feel for the moment. And think about this. Can I bless you? Think about all the things that made you feel a certain way for that moment, and that feeling ain't the same no more. Talk to me.
Go ahead now.
Something made me feel good today. If you like me, a Sagittarius, you lose interest. It ain't the same tomorrow. But then, should I base love on that? I could be excited. You know how you get a new thing and you prep it up, you keep it up, and after a while, mother, you done lived long enough. You done had a couple of new furniture sets in your house. You get a first new set of furniture. You don't want to sit on it. Everybody come in, it's treated a certain way. And then after a couple of months or years, you may get a spill or get something. After a while, it ain't so new no more. Now you can eat on it now. You can sleep on it now.
Yeah.
The pillows are on the floor. The grandbabies are crying. But at first, that's because you put this emotion to it that was only an illusion for a time. And that's what we do when we say we love each other. It's only an emotion for the time. Huh? Think about this, and I'm done. Think about the concept that we have incorporated in this system. And it's fairly new. I keep telling you, some things are fairly new to us as a people. But in this culture, my daughters and my sons and all of them, they had to go through this thing, and I had to go through it. We all went through meeting somebody, liking somebody. Think about all the people you met and liked and stopped liking. Think about all the people you met and liked and stopped liking. Met, like, stopped liking. Met, like, stopped liking. What the heck is that?
I don't know, bro.
Music get you right, you don't know. And not only that, forget like, met, fell in love, and fell out of love. What was that? So that means if you really knew what love is, you wouldn't, well, there you go, you wouldn't have fell in all that other craziness anyway.
Amen.
In other words, you'd be able to recognize real, and they say real recognize real. But since you cannot recognize real and you recognize a feeling, and you know what that feeling is. One thing about that feeling is rewarding, and it surely feel good. So that's what you're counting on, that feeling. It feel good. It made me feel a certain way. Whether if it's sexual, whether if it's emotional, whether it's psychological, and when that feeling is gone, then what? Here you go. Y'all be able to say it with me. Love is gone. So was it really love? Now, you say, well, preacher, you saying love don't have feelings and emotions? I didn't say that. I said getting caught in the what? Feeling of things. You can love a person and just love them. Like I tell Rachel all the time, no matter what happens on this side of the sun or the universe, from the day when I met my wife, and I say this to this day, and it's my answer ever since. Anybody who know me, my friends in the shop, if you call up there and say, why did Meshach or Roger get married to his wife? I fell in love. And I'm still in love today. Amen. Whether we agree or hold on, no. Whether we agree or disagree, that's what I am. Because it ain't based upon nothing but that love. You don't hear me.
It's all right, priest.
It ain't based on this. It ain't based on if she got long hair, short hair. It ain't based on what she have or don't have. Because what happens if, God forbid, something happens physically to her? Amen. Then I can say, well, she ain't cute Rachel no more. I say, oh, Rachel, you so pretty. What if she ain't pretty one day? You understand? This is the deep thing about when we say unconditioned, a condition without conditions. But when we put all these conditions on it, you're just really going through a lot of emotions that God has given us. And God has given us every emotion you have under the sun. Anger, hate, greed, depression, whatever. But what we have to do as wise servants is discern which one is right. And when we're going through it, we have to know which one not to go through. Because we're human. And the human expression goes, sometimes you don't feel like yourself. Do you think I get up every morning with the conquering lion in my spirit? Mm-hmm. Sometimes I wake up, I be like a little cub. And as the day go, I had to grow into the lion. I get on like, roar. My roar be real low. Sometimes I get up purring. But over the day, I be like, because my roar gets stronger. Because sometimes I have to readjust myself. Yeah. Talk to me, somebody. Sometimes you have to readjust yourself. But what helps me readjust myself, because the love of God helps me readjust myself.
My God, yes.
See, at the end of the day, what the priest is saying, love is a power. It's a force that can't be stopped. All right. It's a force that sometimes can't even be explained. And there's another thing I'm going to tell you about this force. Sometimes it don't even make sense to the human mind.
My God, yes.
God's love don't make sense to the carnal mind. Because guess what? We say God, I heard somebody say, if God loved it, he would have did this. Don't we say that?
Yes.
If God is, we say this all the time. We hear people say this all the time. If God is love, then why did God? So then again.
And again.
We still putting God up under some kind of condition that we came up with. But guess what? Think about who you questioning. You questioning that made you. All right. When was the last time you made some people? When was the last time you made a universe? When was the last time you made a star in the moon and put them in the universe and balanced it out? When was the last time you made grass come forth to feed a nation of people? And then you're going to question something that you don't even have no power over? Man, woman, stand down. Just stand down. Keep your thoughts to yourself. Because you would never understand it. We would never understand it. That's what I call, as John called, that's the mystery of God. You can't understand it. Because it don't owe you and I no explanation. God, as God, you see God move blocks off the planet Earth. And you be like, why did God let that rain come? Because God can do that. And God ain't losing people. There's nobody on this planet that was meant to live forever. Nobody. Even the greatest among us. Even the people who you think, people may look at the priest and see the priest ain't never going to, one day the priest is going to be out of here. But it's hard to conceive that. Ain't nobody getting that pass. So be at peace with that person. Ain't nobody getting the pass. Ain't nobody going to be here 20 years later after you gone. Ain't nobody getting that pass. Everybody got a time and a season. So, but we don't know how long is the time nor the season. And we don't know how we leave in the time and the season. But we know while we're here, all we have is this time. This span to what? Express the love of God. And that's what love and need one another. Yes. And if we can do that, we will learn a greater lesson. That's why Jesus said, what greater gift can a man give to lay down his life for a friend? Do you understand? So all I'm just trying to get us to understand God's people. It was a good broadcast. I pray that they recorded it. You all should have listened. Amen. And we need to have more conversations about it. Amen. We need to keep peeling this back. Amen. Because it looks like in the culture now, people are in need of that answer. What is the answer? Amen. What is the answer? What is it? Do I consume myself in my career? Do I consume myself in my ministry? You know, we all are guilty of something. Do I get it? Do I say, my love is because I love my ministry. What is it? What is it that we need to understand? Because we only got a time that we to share with one another. I enjoy my time sharing with you guys, people. I enjoy my time I share with my family. Sometimes it may not seem that, but it's true. I enjoy whatever time I have. I enjoy the time at the shop. I just enjoy people. People just interesting to me. But at the end of the day, I want to know what it really means. Because I've seen too many say it to see so much hurt come behind it. So God bless you. Heaven smile upon you. I pray that you got a thought. God is love. Amen. God bless you. We're going to change this part of the service.